What's up, guys? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Today I have for you the Stock and Barrel 100% corn. Okay, it is 46% alcohol by volume. There are a few options for 100% corn whiskey out there. Mostly bourbon. There are some Canadian whiskeys that are corn whiskeys. Hudson's New York corn whiskey is one example. Another one is True Blue 100 proof. Those are both bourbons. For the Canadian whiskeys, in the Canadian whiskey market, I believe it's Century Reserve or something like that. That's 100% corn whiskey. They're not as common, but there's corn whiskey in most Canadian whiskeys because Canadian whiskeys are blends, and a lot of that caramel note that you get in a Canadian whiskey, that creamy mouthfeel, that all comes from the corn. Not exclusively the corn, there's other malts or other grains that will provide that weightier texture, but corn whiskey is one of them. Okay, so this is aged 3 to 4 years. We talked a little bit about Stock and Barrel and Stillwater Distillery in my last video. I had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for that. It's probably better just to listen to the audio of the last video, but the rye whiskey that I've already tried from this discovery pack that Stillwater Distillery has released in the holidays, the rye was really good. We're on to the corn today, okay? And then I'll follow up the series, the little mini series of Stock and Barrel with the single malt that they've also made, okay? So exclusively aged in ex-bourbon casks, okay? We're going to start with tasting and smelling without water, and then I'm going to add some water, okay? Okay, when I usually think corn whiskey, I usually think a peppery nose, stinging in the nostrils, that type of thing. You don't get that here. It's very smooth. It's no added color and non-chill filtered, so that is a respectable nose for both of those things, especially at 46%. Okay, what I'm getting from the casks that Stillwater is used is that they're very high quality casks. Okay, they're not chintzing out on the barrels that they're buying, because this, you can tell in the short time that it's been in a barrel, it's done work. Okay, it's smoothed out the tannins, it's made it a nicer nose, a smoother whiskey in general. Okay, all right, you get some caramel corn, you get a little bit of cotton candy. A touch of peppermint. The nose on a peppermint. Very smooth smelling, very sweet smelling. Okay, on the palate. This is weightier in texture than the 100% rye. It's actually not as sweet, which surprises me because I know that corn whiskeys are known to be pretty sweet. This one is not as sweet as the rye, which is not a bad thing. It's still really sweet, but it's not as sweet as the rye is. Okay, one more taste on the palate. Okay, you get that smooth, warm, touch peppery on the palate. It's sweet. Get some vanilla. I'm gonna do one more. Okay, I'm gonna add some water. It is fruity, but I can't pin down what fruits I'm tasting. Probably something like pear. Okay, a little bit of water. Okay, with the water you get a little bit more of a floral note. Still getting that caramel. That cooked sugar smell as well, which is similar to a caramel smell. Okay, so a drop of water actually makes this, and I didn't put much. You saw it was an espresso spoon of water, essentially. Just opens it right up. You get much more creaminess, syrupy, like a light yellow syrup. Get some fudge note in that. More vanilla than before on the palate. And it's sweeter now. It's sweeter for some reason after a drop of water. This is pretty good stuff, guys. Like I said, there's 100% corn whiskey. A lot of people don't know they're drinking corn whiskey when they are drinking corn whiskey. Like I said earlier, a whole bunch of Canadian whiskey companies use it in their blends. Wiser's being one, Crown Royal being another. The Gooderham and Worts is a 4-grain. One of the grains used in this is corn. Okay. It is so hard to tell when you're drinking a corn whiskey in comparison with a barley whiskey in comparison with a rye whiskey. If you line these three up, I bet you'd be able to tell the difference. If you lined this corn whiskey up with any other Canadian whiskey, you would not be able to tell, in my opinion. It is too similar to a Canadian Club. It is too similar to a Crown Royal. It has that creaminess, that smoothness that is distinct in Canadian whiskey. That's coming from the corn, okay? This is really good stuff. I hope Stillwaters decides to bottle it at 750 milliliters. I guarantee people are going to enjoy this. If you can still find the Stock and Barrel Distillery Discovery Pack, go get it. It's 115 bucks, but it gives you an idea of what each of the grains taste like on their own, okay? And that's important if you like Canadian whiskey, because a lot of Canadian whiskey drinkers don't know that they're drinking corn whiskey. They don't know that they're drinking less rye in their Canadian whiskey than they think, okay? So if you don't know, now you know. Go check it out. I'm going to give this a B, alright? It's really good stuff. Almost as good as the 100% rye. There's I prefer it with a drop of water, whereas this one you can have either way, and it's a really good. Both are really good, but I prefer the rye. Worth buying though. If you can find it, pick it up. B. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. You guys know the drill. At whiskey_in_the6 or at whiskey_in_the_6. Cheers, guys.